What's going on, guys? Today we are going to be installing a dash cam, and the awesome people from Blackvue have sent over a dash cam and their ultra battery for me to install on the Crosstrek. So we're going to be installing the DR752 channel LTE and the ultra battery here, so that way when it's parked, it has parking mode, so if anything impacts the car or anything like that, it's also still being recorded, so that's pretty awesome. Yeah, so we're going to get to installing this, and I'll talk to you guys some more of the details. Let me tell you some. So some of the reasons you guys would want to install a dash cam is the world's just crazy right now. So whether you're driving your supercar, your daily driver, your poop box, you never know when you can possibly either be in an accident or you can assist with an accident happening, not assist happening. You can actually help someone else that was in an accident with some detailed footage of what actually happened. But I personally commute almost 40,000 miles a year, 500 miles a week. So having a dash cam is awesome because it's mostly parkways and highways with a whole bunch of reckless driving, whether it's in the morning or night. You get all the idiots on the road, so having a dash cam just gives you the peace of mind that God forbid something happens, you have someone else looking out for you.
Blackvue's looking out for you.
Thanks, Blackvue.
Wow.
But it's also awesome to have in, say, your fun car, like a 700 horsepower Subaru Legacy, or a 302 horsepower Subaru Forester.
Just as fun.
That's also getting 6-speed swap soon. They're also good to have it in your fun car because you can also catch your friend's reactions if you want to turn it and face the inside, if you want to just have some awesome dash cam footage of you driving down a mountain road or a closed course road in Mexico. So there's a whole bunch of uses and possibilities with these cameras, so let's go ahead and install them in my daily driver. So before we get into it, we're gonna have a nice little beverage thanks to this Blackvue mug. And we're gonna get into the cameras and the ultra battery.
A nice mug.
Let me tell you about that. And
that's a nice. Are those Blackvue's?
Whoa! Chris, should we talk about the battery or the camera first?
Ooh, you know, let's save the best for last. Just talk about the battery. Let's hear about this.
Advanced power supply for your bike.
But first, I gotta read it, Chris.
So a perk of going with the ultra battery, or one of their battery options, is the parking mode, like I talked about before. Using this battery, it completely isolates your car's battery from this battery. So now your dash cam is operating solely from this battery. You don't have to worry about your car battery dying, which if you did wire it up like that, you can have a low voltage detection. I didn't want to chance it. I didn't want to worry about it. This will continuously power the dash cam, as well as you can charge another device with a built-in USB port. So it's a massive battery backup. Whoa!
Were you also aware that their battery backup has an app that you could go in there and check out the battery status and all that type of good stuff?
Why, yes, I am.
Why, yes, I am.
First off, you get a whole bunch of little wires and connections and wingdings. That is really windy. And the manual, we don't need that, obviously, because we are professionals. Yeet. This is the wire if you wanted to wire it directly to your battery, which we are not going to be doing. It comes with a whole bunch of extra fuses because the people from Blackvue thought about everything. They included these fuse taps, which are an awesome alternative to splicing a wire, cutting a wire, using the briefcase connectors. So shout out to Blackvue for thinking ahead and sending all of the variants of the fuse taps with fuses. And
there's the focus.
Velcro.
Ooh.
What we're going to be installing is this. Chris, what is this?
That goes in, that lights cigarettes.
Okay.
And or
nailed it. The way we're going to be installing it is using this cable. This is going to go into a cigarette outlet and then go into the battery. I have a spare cigarette outlet that's in the center console that I do not ever use. So that's going to feed that. And then this gets plugged into the battery, and then this feeds into your dash cam.
Slide her out. Ooh. Ooh, it flips too.
Also, another great thing with Blackvue, they did not cheap out on quality. I installed 4 cameras on the minivan and the Legacy before the road trip, and I was very impressed with the build quality. The dash cam, which this gets plugged into. Boop. You have your DC in, boop, which this gets plugged into.
I booped too early.
Boop. There we go. And then you have either cigarette or hardwire, which ours is going to be cigarette because it's getting charged by this. And then USB output. And that's basically it. Then you can do an expansion if you want to stack the layers, stack the batteries, and have another battery going. That way you have, I don't know, like 17 years of battery. So they have an expansion port if you wanted to run an extra battery. This battery is more than enough. I mean, it's going to be great because when I'm at work, it's parked for 8 hours, charge on the way home, and then when it's sitting in the parking lot, or when you're just out and about and it's parked. So using the battery, it's going to allow the camera to stay on in parking mode when the car is off. And that way it's not feeding off the car's battery or anything like that. It's feeding off its own power source. So that way you have what's called parking mode, and it can keep surveillance on your car even when you're not with it or when it's not running.
Now imagine if you had the LTE module. Oh, wait a second.
Oh!
Does that camera have LTE capabilities?
Why, yes, it does.
Can you monitor that camera from anywhere using the Blackvue app?
Yes, you can.
Wow. Wow.
SIM activation guide. That is right.
Wow.
You can go and get a SIM card and put it in the camera, and you can monitor your camera anywhere in the world that you have cell service. So in the box of the DR750 2-channel LTE 4G, mind you, this is your main front camera. It can pivot on the mount. It uses 3M double stick tape, and then you can push this button and slide the camera out to get access to your SIM card, as well as all your passwords and information that we're going to need to set up the app.
Ooh, that quick release though.
Right?
Nice.
Ready? Wha-bam!
Ooh.
As well as, I forgot to mention, on the cameras you can add an SD card, which they include, so that way it's recording to a SD card. I think it's a 32 gig, a continuous loop. So after the card fills up, it just starts to rewrite over itself, unless there was a situation that you needed to save or an impact detected. It automatically saves that entire clip. Moving on to the back camera, these get tied together via a included cable, of course. Ready for this? Ready?
Ooh.
Hello.
Ooh,
Hello.
it woke up.
So this is the back camera, full HD as well. This one has the pivoting, and like I said, it gets tied together via cable, a video cable. So we'll put that to the side. This is a cigarette plug that is going to be powering the camera, which will be getting plugged into this piece from the battery, like we mentioned before. This is the video cable that connects the two cameras together, the front and the rear camera. And then this is a bag of goodies.
Ooh.
They definitely did not cheap out on sending you accessories and pieces and goodies and gadgets. So you got a plastic panel pry popper tool. Say that 5 times fast. So you can snake the wire in. You have a whole bunch of these little wire holders, which are really, really nice. And then a 64 gig SD card, and then the SIM card tool, card reader, and then extra double-sided stick tape in case you want to take the camera off and either move it to another car or anything like that. Let's install it. Hey. So like I said, I have a extra cigarette lighter that I never use. Funny fact, I don't think I use either of them ever, because I just plug my phone in USB. So we're gonna pull this little tray out, plug this into the cigarette outlet.
Down there?
Yes, sir.
You guys,
Down in there.
about.
I also have a forklift certification, but it shows my place of employment, so I'm not going to show you that. But I am certified to operate a fork truck.
Fork truck.
Just so everyone knows, I can drive a fork truck. This wire will get routed down under the seat, so if you guys want to come to this side, you can see me do that. I'm installing it under the seat, out of the way. The bottom of the floor has like a hump up, and then a pocket down here, so I'm not worried about debris and water and intrusion and all that. If your floors are completely flat, be wary of that. But like I said, I have a little pocket. So battery can get plugged in like so. Make sure you have it switched to cigarette, not hardwire. Detects the battery voltage a little bit differently. We're gonna go ahead, plug this little guy in. This is the adapter to go back to a cigarette outlet for the camera. You can unwind this long power cord. Now before you put the battery hidden and hide it away, make sure that you can turn the key on and you have charging indication, which we do. So now we're gonna tuck this away. Okay, bye. Bye, bye, bye.
He's under there somewhere.
It's American Pie. So now we're gonna start routing the wire up and under the rails. Make sure you route wires under the seat rails. That way when it slides forward and back, it doesn't pinch it. So now we have all this excess, and we're gonna start routing this power wire up. But what we're also gonna do, I think, let's get the cameras on, and we can position the front one, because then when we run this up, we can also run the other wire and run it back. You get what I'm saying, people? Okay. Before we mount this to the window and kind of get it set up to see where we're looking, let's install the SD card that comes with it. Little SD card slot. Put that in like so, and then turn this back and close it on up. Now we can hook it up to power, and it's gonna power on. Ready for this? That sounded really good. That sounded. So basically what you want to do, the camera is obviously off-centered here, so you're gonna want to kind of line that up with the center of the mirror and stick it on like so, and then you can position the rotation of it afterward. And then using the app, you want to make sure that you're level as well. How are we looking, Chris?
Looks nice. Got some sun flares for you. Between your hands, bro.
And that's it.
Wow.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
Cool.
We'll see you.
See you next week, Cody.
Shut up. Now we're going to be routing this very long wire. The reason it's so long is they have no idea where you're getting power from, so they give you a whole bunch of extra slack. But we're also going to be running this wire and this wire together. This is the video cable. The straight end is for the rear camera, gets plugged into the rear and the bent one gets plugged into the front camera. There's a little F and a little R, that way you don't get them confused. So simply just plug this in on the side here.
Oh, we get more flares. Oh my god.
Boom, boom.
Oh my god, look at these flares.
And now I'm just gonna chase my wires down. This is when that little panel popper tool can kind of come in handy. Both cameras record to the same SD card, mind you, so that way you don't have to worry about 2 SD cards or anything like that. They record to the same source, which is the front camera. So I switched to the rear camera now, and I'm gonna hop in the back of the car, lower it, and mount it on up, and use the app to get the best angle.
Also really cool, Cody will mention it probably, but the light goes on when the Blackvues are plugged in, and it'll like blink and show like somebody outside of the car that there's a camera in there. So you can like, it's kind of like a theft deterrent too. If someone sees a camera in your front window with a white light on it, or in the rear window with a white light on it, they might think twice before smashing and grabbing your stuff and maybe stealing all your camera gear and making you feel like a terrible human. Almost there. Wow.
You can twist your camera and get optimal viewing angle. I'm gonna finish buttoning this wire on up, sneaking it around, and then we're gonna show you some of the app interface. Really easy install. So
yeah.
I gotta say, one nice thing with these, they kind of did a really good job as far as making a very simple, compact, very high quality gauge wire that was very easy to snake. Some of the cheaper dash cams I've seen, it's a really crappy video wire with big connections, so you gotta fish that through everything. So they did a really awesome job, which is a really nice quality wire. So cannot stress how nice it is of having that small wire to work with, because I was able to route it through a factory weather grommet, sneak it right on out. So we're gonna finish buttoning things up, and then we're gonna go to the app. Right now we're in the Blackvue Battery Manager app. You can go ahead and click on your battery, and you can actually get some live feedback of what's going on. It says low voltage warning because my car's not on and the battery only has 2%. But you can see your DC voltage in, your output, your battery capacity, the charge time remaining, all that good stuff. So it's kind of cool that you can connect to your battery and see the status of it. If we go to the Blackvue app itself, you can connect to your cameras, whether it's the Wi-Fi, the cloud, to check on your battery, internal memory. So we're gonna hit Wi-Fi, already connected to the camera. This is where you can do your live view of your front or your rear. Look at that, 2019 Chrysler Pacifica. Nice. That is nice. As well as go into your settings of your firmware settings. This is where you can change all your basic settings of your date, time, your video resolutions, your recording options. So that's basically it for the install. As you guys saw, it's a very easy install. The app makes everything easy. The camera setup is very easy. So if you guys have any questions on the cameras or setting them up, comment them below. I'm gonna be using these cameras for the next few weeks, and then I'll post an update video of actual footage from the cameras in a update video. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you Blackvue so much for sending me these cameras, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.